welcome back to my channel. But if you're new here, hello, hi, I'm Jyotsna and I make a lot of bookish stuff because I read books to keep my disintegrating brain intact. But that's not the point here. The point is we are going to be talking about The Great Circle or Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead, which has been shortlisted for the Booker Prize 2021. And I'm going to be making all book review videos for all the books that have been shortlisted this year for the Booker Prize. So yeah, let's get started with this one. So the first question, what is Great Circle about? It's just Great Circle. Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead kind of follows two parallel timelines, and it's a form of contemporary historical fiction. So the first timeline is pure historical fiction, which starts somewhere in 1913, 1914, and it's about Jamie and Marian Graves, who are twins who were kind of orphaned, and read the book to know why were they orphaned. But the other side of the story is a parallel plot line happening in modern day Hollywood, where they've decided to make a biopic on Marian Graves, the famous female pilot from those times. Basically, Marian Graves is a character somewhat modeled around Amelia Earhart and the other female aviators in the US during that time. And I must say that this book is pretty long, like it's super long. The audiobook that I read was 25 hours long, but I think that I have a lot of thoughts about what I liked and what I didn't like. So let's get into things I liked. Okay, so what did I like? I absolutely liked the Marian Graves, Jamie Graves storyline. I really loved the historical fiction part because that actually had some substance to it. It kind of made you feel like you're reading about these people's lives who actually existed. And especially when it comes to the relationship Jamie and Marianne share, considering they've been orphaned and considering that there are not many people in their lives, there is no family per se. It's interesting how these twins deal with each other, talk to each other, and that kind of twin connection that's been explored in the book. I also like the other characters in throughout the journey that they keep meeting, and it kind of you when you read the book you'll realize that the book was well plotted. Like Maggie Shipstead, she knew where she wanted to carry the book, she knew where she wanted to end it, right? And getting to the part I didn't like, and that's simply the modern day storyline. The thing is that it's the historical fiction part itself like forms a book in itself, like if that makes sense. Like if I take the Graves family story out of the book and I were to publish a book on that, I think it would be a good sell. It would be a nice story, and especially considering that it's inspired by real life aviators and people who actually tried to break through and break the glass ceiling and stuff like that. Like I did think that the historical fiction part was awesome. But when it comes to the Hollywood part of it, that's Hadley Baxter. So the reason why Hadley Baxter as an actor who's going to be Marianne Graves in the epic, or Marianne Graves in the biopic, I just felt like there was some or the other connection lost, right? Because when Hadley Baxter, or Hadley Baxter, oh my god, I'm all over the place with names. But the point is that when Miss Baxter is kind of researching about Graves and the family that she belonged to, and also like her life in general, she stumbles upon a lot of people in her real life as well who are helping her piecing the story together. But I just felt like the way the character was written was very superficial, because she was just like the stereotypical blonde girl that is portrayed in a lot of Hollywood movies, who just has it's a very bad stereotype, of course, and I condemn it for sure, but that's how the character has been written, and I just felt like it was the character was written just for the sake of it. So yeah, and that's what I didn't like. Like there is no connection between the Hollywood plot line, or I couldn't sense any connection between Hadley and Marianne Graves, whatever. But the point being that it kind of like is a disjointed thing plot wise in general. So, talking about how much did I rate this book, right? Because the rating kind of says it all most of the time. So, me, and I rated it 3.7 stars. I kind of like brought it to 4 because I was like, okay, it's between 3.7 and 4 stars. And the reason why I rated it 3.7 or 4 stars is because I just felt like the Hollywood plot was unnecessary. The Hollywood plot just made it very long. It just felt like there were breaks in the historical fiction, like in the historical story about the Graves family, which was actually very interesting. And the life of Marianne Graves and Jimmy Graves, both of their lives are very interesting. But I just felt like Baxter was someone who was very, very, I don't know, like her character it's in itself is like somewhat of a, I mean there's no like unharsh way to say it, or a delicate way to say this, but I just felt like Baxter was a very poorly written stereotypical character, and that's why I reduced it. And honestly, if the size of the current book would kind of run to the size could be reduced to 3/4 of the original, considering that we didn't have this Hollywood storyline at all. So yeah, but otherwise, like I do think that it's not a bad book to read. It's a good book. It has its flaws. It has a lot of stuff in it that I think I took away a lot of stuff from the Graves family and their lives, and how they kind of lead lives in this orphaned fashion. So I did take a lot of stuff from the historical fiction part of it for sure, and that's why I think you should read it as well. Like maybe kind of just skim over the parts of the Hollywood era stuff or whatever, like the modern day Hollywood stuff, and just like get into it for the historical fiction that the book has to offer. So yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's my very quick, short review, sweet review for Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead. And I hope you like this. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. By the way, I'm making like these book review videos for all the books. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much. Bye.